we welcome you to the season debut of the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. I'm Bob Papa. The Giants open up the 2025 campaign in Washington against the Commanders. Coming up on the show, above the X's and O's as Carl Banks and Coach Daboll go inside the film room. Bruce Beck joins the program, plus Carl Banks with strategy and much more. I'd like to welcome in two-time Super Bowl champion and co-host Carl Banks and the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll. And gentlemen, here we go. Another season. It feels kind of like Christmas is coming. It's pretty exciting, Carl. I know you're fired up.
It's like the first day of school, Coach.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Coach, obviously you've put a lot of work in to reshape this football team. How excited are you to finally get out on the field and see where you stand?
Yeah, like you said, we put a lot of hard work in all the way back through OTAs, training camp, preseason games, and the guys have been working extremely hard. And we had a good week of preparation here, so it'll be good to get out there game one. You never know what you're going to get in game one, so put a lot of work into it. But we're going to have to do a good job on game day of making adjustments and playing the way we need to play.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the leadership aspect of this team? You brought in two seasoned pros at quarterback, and it's just a different voice now, isn't it?
Yeah, this league is about the players, and having good player-driven leadership is important through tough times and through good times. And it starts with Russ, and like you said, Jameis has done a great job for us, but some of the other additions we've made have really been good for us in terms of guys like Daboll, guys like Holland, I think guys like Dexter and Burns who have been here. So these guys have done a nice job throughout camp, and I know they're looking forward to getting started.
Let's talk a little about Washington here, because they added Deebo Samuel, who's a multi-threat weapon. They traded Brian Robinson in the middle of training camp in the preseason. So they have some different looks that you haven't really seen yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, game one, you can do all the studying you want to. But they've done studying, too, on what they need to get better at and what they've really done a good job with and advanced their systems. So it's always a challenge, game one. It's a great time of the year going into Washington. And, again, you find out kind of what you're made of early on, and then you're going to have to do a good job of sustaining and playing a four-quarter game.
And, Coach, you don't know what you're going to get game plan-wise, but you know what you got with their quarterback, the style of player he is, Frankie Louveau, and their defense. So you do have to kind of prepare your guys for what those characteristics are. Yeah,
absolutely. It starts with Jaden on their offense. And they do a great job. Cliff has been a friend of mine for a long time, a good football coach, and they did a really good job with Jaden. Obviously, Jaden is a tremendous talent, and he's acquitted himself very well in this league in a short amount of time. And then you got McLaurin outside, who's one of his favorite targets. Add a guy like Daboll, Ertz, you got to be ready for him on third down and particularly in the red zone. And, their offensive line has done a good job, along with Jaden, of staying on track, creating positive plays. And they've done a really good job playing a four-quarter game and winning games at the end and coming from behind and battling. I think that's a testament to Cliff, to Coach Quinn. And then when you talk about the defensive side of the ball with Louvu and Wagner and Payne and Lattimore, and they got a lot of talented pieces on that side of the ball. They play well together. That's why they were in the NFC Championship game last year.
Coach, going back to your team, the offensive line seems to be stabilized, right? And some of that ties into the quarterbacks making the right decisions and being quick getting rid of the football. But what growth have you seen in that O-line so far?
They're a veteran group. They communicate well. They're on the same page. It starts with JMS and the points and the things that he has to do to get things set, which helps the entire offense. But it takes 11 guys offensively to be successful. It takes 11 guys for the offensive line to be successful. But they've done a nice job up to this point.
Final question. Malik Neighbors had obviously an incredible year last year. But, a lot of times in the NFL, players take that next step from year one to year two. What have you seen as far as growth in him?
I think his preparation process has been very good. He's really developed a good relationship with Russ, and Russ has been fantastic for him. Just things off the field, taking care of your body, rehabbing, being in early, working together, communicating in the meeting rooms. Malik's done a nice job.
Coach, best of luck this weekend, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
That's the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll. Now, they're not done, because they're going to go inside the film room for Above the X's and O's. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.
Let's have a great day here.
Let's have a great day. Come on, 3. Right from the start. Right from the start. Finish! Finish! Good ball. That away. Hey, give the O-line something. Give the O-line some love, man. These running lanes have been good.
Huge.
Okay, the backs are cutting good. Good job! Good job, O-line! Good job, O-line!
Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show. Coach, let's go over a few plays and, just some positive things that came out of preseason on the defense.
Okay. Well, this situation right here, we're playing Buffalo, and it's 1st and 15, so I went backwards 5 yards, and it's kind of a situation where we call get back on track. Usually that's 2nd and 7 plus what our team's going to do. They're trying to get half of it back, or they're trying to take a shot. Here we just call a simple man-to-man defense where everybody's locked up. Bobby is the whole player, reading the quarterback, and Micah does a great job of fighting through the traffic here. And this is what they're trying to do offensively, is trying to create some traffic for Micah to get the ball to the back. And Micah runs over the top of him, reads it quickly, and makes a great play to make it 2nd and 16, 2nd and 15, which is even a greater get back on track situation. Everybody's locked up, man to man. It's good coverage. They're using their help. Showing a little bit of a disguise here with Holland over there on the opposite side of the hash, and trying to get push in the middle part of the pocket. They got a double team on Nacho, which means there's 3 other guys that have to do their job and win, one-on-one. So really good play by Micah, instinctive, quick, and then finishes with a near leg, near shoulder tackle, wraps through the ball carrier, and dislodges the ball.
Can you talk a little bit about, if you go back to the pre-snap, right? So Micah knows he has man, and he sees the split of the wide receiver, so he knows there's a possibility that there's going to be traffic, right?
Absolutely.
So just the anticipation of the traffic and him getting out, not getting caught up, because he's got another guy playing man-to-man right behind him.
Right behind him. And, he's being overly aggressive, for any type of wheel route or something that may come up with him getting picked for a big one, knowing that he's got help with Bobby if they go ahead and choose to make an inside break and route. And this is what, tying the front and the coverage is all about. Coverage is all about where is your leverage, where do I need to be, and where's my help, and playing to that leverage. Again, you see Micah, as they snap the ball, go right now, and beats all the traffic, gets over the top, eliminates the shot play down the field. And then again, this is just great technique, near leg, near shoulder, wrap, head to the side, drive through the offender, and it makes a really good play for us.
All right, now let's take a look at another play.
Jets, this was 3rd and 2 to 3. So you get to this situation in the high red zone. There's a couple schools of thought of what teams like to do. Some, will go ahead and take a shot knowing that they might go for it on 4th and 2 here. Some are just get the first down, and then there's always a potential of run. Here we're in a kind of a 5-down lineman set with the corners up on the receivers. And again, we're playing man-to-man here. So Flott does a great job reading the 3-step off of the quarterback, and here he's taking a quick 1.5 step and driving on Garrett, doing a great job with his offhand, his left hand, of securing the tackle and then fighting through to get the ball to make a pass break up.
And Coach, the middle of field safety here, keeping leverage on that slant in case he makes that catch. The safety seems to be in pretty good position to break right downhill on it.
Absolutely, and I think it's good awareness by Belton where we are on the field. You don't want to be sitting back here at 20 yards when you're in the red zone. He's doing a good job of protecting the inside part of the field, even though he's got deep third, and driving on that ball, like you said, in case this doesn't go our way, he's there to go ahead and make a tackle, line up, play again, and play good red zone defense.
All right, Coach, thanks again for your time. I think we're all smarter as a result of this conversation.
Thanks, Banksy.
And much more to come on the Coach Daboll Show.
Come on, dominate today. Dominate today. Dominate today. Good, Theo. That's right. Downhill. Oh, yeah. Good job, line. Love it, oh. Let's go. That's how it's got to be. Good work there, man. Hey, hell of a job on the run game. Hell of a job, man. Hell of a job, man. Great job, man. Great job right there. Good work right there. Good work right there. Oh, sweet.
Russell Wilson certainly brings that energy as a Super Bowl champion to the New York Giants. As we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. You know, it's not often you get a chance to have Super Bowl champions sit down and chat, but that's what happened when Phil Simms and Russell Wilson spoke about the quarterback play.
First off, Russell, good to see you, man.
Yeah, pleasure.
How's everything?
Everything's great, man. Good to be a New York Giant, New York football
how's
Giant.
it like? Well, tell me real quick, what's it like to be a New York Giant?
You know, first of all, I think just the tradition here, the history.
Yeah.
You know, guys like yourself, but just so much history here, all the Super Bowls, and great energy here right now. Guys really believe in who we are, what we can do, and there's kind of a no blink mentality.
As we talk to everybody in the team, we always show a few plays that they like that kind of illustrates who they are, and here's the two you picked out.
We try to set them up here with the run action.
Yeah, good fake.
Yeah, and just trying to seat the ball, trying to have a good sell here to the back. And I think Tracy does a great job. But look at the protection here. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, when you see this protection, the line is doing a tremendous job of giving me enough time. And we're cooking steaks, I always like to say here, you know.
Okay.
But I try to give my man right here, Collins, a shot down the field. And he did a great job of crossing the safety's face. And you know, I try to give one of those big old moon balls there. I thought he was going to score right. I thought it was going to be an 80-yard tug, you know, first, you know, touchdown, the first one. But he did a good job of not reaching the ball. You know, you don't want to really reach the ball right here because if they knock it out, they get the ball.
Your O-line's blocking well, the threat of the run, the down to all the situations.
Yep.
You set this up. Did y'all do this in any of the scrimmages you did against the Jets?
Well, we didn't throw this throw against them.
Oh, okay.
But we had it kind of set up. Kafka did a good job. Daboll, all those guys, they did a good job of seeing it and feeling it. And we talked about kind of trying to attack them early. But once again, this play doesn't happen without the guys up front doing a great job of just giving us enough time, really.
Well, the one thing about old offensive linemen, they're angry as hell. I mean, come on, you know, they've had it. They want to do the thing right. Well, show me this play and what you were thinking.
Yeah, so this right here, we're trying to get them in man-to-man here in a situation here. We've been running the ball well for the most part throughout the game. But right here, it was just a hard play action off of it. Hard sell is, you know, I think the back did a really good job of faking it here. Once again, the line does a great job of giving me enough time, but it's just a cool catch by Tyler Lockett here. And he did a really good job. If you notice here, watch Tyler. He kind of sets the guy. See a little double move, right? He does.
A little move, yes.
And he was like, okay, I'm just going to go to the pylon, boom. And I just threw it to that spot. And he does a good job of just toe tapping in here.
Appreciate the time. Thank you for
next time we do this, I want to see some of your highlights. I want to see your top 5.
Well,
your top 5.
I got them, but the film's really grainy.
It was really grainy.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. All right, bud.
Appreciate you, man.
Really fascinating conversation with Russell Wilson and Phil Simms, a 2-time Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll go to the coaches' tape and break down the matchup between the Giants and Commanders with Carl Banks and strategy. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. We added a new element to the program. Emmy Award-winning and the Dean of New York sports anchors, Bruce Beck of NBC4 New York, is part of the show each and every week. He's going to go inside the Giants locker room and bring you an interview with a different player each and every week. It's time to turn it over to Bruce Beck.
Bob, we'll be inside the locker room, but sometimes we'll also be out in the hallway. And our first guest is Javon Holland, the safety who spent 4 years with the Dolphins and came over as a free agent in March. How's your transition going, by the way?
It's going quite smooth, I'd say. I'm enjoying myself, definitely.
This Giants team was 3-0 in the preseason. Can you carry that forward now for this opener against Washington?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to. You know, I think those wins matter. You could see how, you know, we're reacting on the sideline. I think everybody was a collective effort to make sure that we go out there and be successful in the preseason. You know, because those plays matter. You know, getting those reps, those live reps, definitely you know, count towards being successful in the regular season.
Javon, can this defense be ferocious because that front group really has some outstanding talent?
I think so. I think we have to be. With the guys we have up front, Burns, Dex, KT, Daboll, you know, I think Nacho, I think we have to be ferocious, for sure.
That first ever Black Friday game, you had the 99-yard interception return for a touchdown against, of all teams, the Jets. Can you bring that magic to this defensive secondary?
Absolutely. That magic is just with me. That's just who I am. So I'm excited to add that part to the defense.
When you look at Daniels and what he brings to the equation, how much of a challenge is that for you and your teammates this weekend?
It's going to be a great challenge. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's dynamic in the run game, dynamic in the pass game. Dan Quinn does a lot with, giving them the reins to, make checks, make calls. They open up a lot with, how they use them, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Brian Daboll has talked a lot about player-driven leadership. How do you interpret that?
I think it's just guys holding themselves to a high standard, and the small individual groups that they have influence over, bringing those people along with them. I think everybody who is considered a leader, or an individual that's seen as a captain or a leader, has 4 or 5 people that they influence. So if you hold yourself to a high standard, then those 4 or 5 people will hold themselves to that same standard that you hold yourself to, and I think that'll collectively bring the standard of the entire room to a higher, better place.
Javon, have a great season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Bruce, great to have you a part of the program, and looking forward to those segments each and every week. Now it's time for Strategy with 2-time Super Bowl champion Carl Banks. And Carl, we're going to take a look at the Commanders, who made it to the NFC Championship game, and they made it because of this guy, Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels, Bob, is the guy who's the dual threat. Now, he's a threat because he's a very gifted passer, got great instincts, but he can pull the ball down and run it at any time. But he's not just a runner. He is a complete quarterback. Let's just take a look here. He's going to look for his primary receiver. Instinctively, it's not there. And all of a sudden, he reads the rush, and he's off and running. But he's not just looking to get what he can. He wants it all. And we're going to look at the end zone, and you'll see how he just senses the rush. Here, if we just look at it, he's looking for his primary. Now he pulls it down. Good job here of keeping the pocket clean for him. But watch how he just senses the rush, because his eyes are still downfield here. And he just all of a sudden pulls the ball down. It's not there. And he probably gains more yards than he would have if he passed the ball there.
All right, now we're going to take a look at another play.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels, the passer, right? We've seen his instincts in the way he can read the pocket. He's looking to pass the ball first. And if we look at this outside perimeter pass here, he drops it right in the bucket.
I mean, he throws De'Ami Brown open. Look where he releases it. He's throwing it to a spot.
Yeah, and look, and he doesn't know if the safety's going to undercut that or not, but he leads his receiver so that he can seal the safety off here. Like, the ball is here, and if it's anywhere out here, it's intercepted. So he leads his receiver where only the receiver can get the football.
Now let's talk about Bobby Wagner, because, there's certain guys that just play every year. Mm-hmm. They never get hurt. He's 35 years old, Carl, and it doesn't look like he's lost a step.
Well, he's better than some 25-year-olds. And you look here, he's playing middle linebacker. Everything about what Bobby Wagner does, it's about read. So he's reading right now this guy and probably a tight end coming down the block on him, but he notices right away. If you look at his vision, he takes a quick peek, and he knows that there's going to be something coming this way. And he knows if something's coming that way, somebody's got to come and get him right away. And watch how he defeats the tight end coming to block him. Takes on the tight end with the right shoulder, misses him, and he's right there in the hole. Just great instinctive play.
All right, you have one more look here for him.
Yeah, again, you can tell Bobby Wagner does his homework. Just take a look at what happens when motion goes across. He sees that, he's right there in the hole. Now, how does that happen unless you've done your homework? I mean, this is perfectly timed. You got a motion coming. As soon as that motion passes, he knows exactly where the football is going to be. So all of the window dressing meant nothing. He knew there was a key that said that play was going to run right into the A-gap.
All right, that's Strategy with Carl Banks. Carl, let's talk a little bit about some final thoughts on this game. And what do you think are some of the things you're excited to see from this Giants team?
Well, here's what we know. Styles make fights. And both games were close games. The Giants were in both. The first game, they didn't have a kicker, and they still had an opportunity to win it. So this is going to be a really good matchup. The thing that I'm interested in seeing, though, is the Giants have upgraded on their offensive line. They've upgraded on their defensive line. So let's see if that will enable them to pull out a victory, because Washington is a 4-quarter team. They play all 4 quarters, You got to see if your talent can sustain and be successful.
For me, I mean, there's been so much conversation about the Giants scoring all these points in the preseason, and that's all well and good. However, how does this offensive line hold up in this game against Washington? Can the Giants run the ball? And then on the other side, can they stop the run?
Well, that's what they have to do, and it's a different type of run stop this week because there's traditional and then there's the quarterback. So your task is, okay, when it's traditional, down and distance, stop those runs. But then on a second and long or third and long, it's not just about rushing the passer, it's about a running quarterback who can pull the ball down and get big yards.
I think we'll all agree we're excited to see Abdul Carter make his debut as a New York Giant. Folks, this week's game is presented by Ticketmaster, the official ticket and marketplace of the New York Giants and the National Football League. Well, that wraps it up for this week's show. For Carl Banks, Coach Daboll, Bruce Beck, Phil Simms, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford.